What is going on, guys? This is Marciea here with another episode of Women Behind the Weight. I have a special guest today, my cousin, Major Deadman. We're going to be doing a Q&A session personally and professionally.
Welcome to the Women Behind the Weights podcast, where we empower and inspire women to lift both weights and their voices. Each week, we explore the incredible journeys of women who are breaking barriers in the fitness world and making their mark. Join us for insightful discussions, inspiring stories, and practical tips that you can apply in your own life. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just starting your fitness journey, there's something here for everyone. Tune in to discover the stories that will ignite your passion, uplift your spirit, and remind you that you are LadyStrong. Let's lift each other up, one conversation at a time.
All right, Major, if you had one more day on Earth, what would you do and why?
One more day on Earth, I'll be around my family. I'm a big family man. I love my family's culture. One thing about my family that I feel is so different than other people is like we're so kind of closed off from everybody. So everybody doesn't know our business, or we're not posting everything about what we're doing. We just keep it in family, and we enjoy that because it's not everybody's business to know at times, you know? Like if we go on vacation, then, you know, my mom will post some on Facebook of us, but I just love how my family gets together and we just enjoy each other's company. We can laugh, we can joke, we can talk about each other, and it's no hard feelings. Like it's just all love and genuine love. So if I had one more day, I just, you know, obviously just get close with God. And then I just be around family and just enjoy the moment, because like tomorrow's not promised.
100%.
You know? And my parents, you know, they're older, but not, you know, they're not super old parents, but, you know, they just enjoy the moment with them because, you know, one day you'll be out the house, one day you'll be gone from them. You might move, you know, so it's not like you're going to see them every day, but, you know, just have that one day with them and just enjoy being around my sisters and my niece and nephews. That would be a great day.
I love that.
For sure.
Oh, that melted my heart. Okay, moving on.
All right. I'm going to get a little deep.
Oh, God.
When choosing your partner, and I know a lot of viewers might be on here either single or might have a partner.
Okay.
What was the biggest thing you were looking for when finding a partner? Because now you're going into business with this partner.
Yeah.
You're sharing vows with this partner. And you're sharing life now with this partner. You're bringing your family in. So what was the most important thing?
Whew, man. Okay, so I have a couple things that come to mind. And I'm going to be honest. I love Brittany's emotional intelligence. I think that says a lot because she's very empathetic, which I'm getting there. She's much more empathetic than I am. And I think that says a lot about her character. So that's number one, is having emotional intelligence. Number two, she is not judgmental. I'm actually going to share a story. I told you this story, but for those of you that maybe have not heard, I'm going to share. Our first date, I was training MMA. I had a lunch break. And Brittany came and got me. We went to lunch, and this was our first lunch date. Mind you, we had only been dating for a couple months, if that. And I went to go pay, and my card got declined. And I was humiliated. And the card didn't decline because there wasn't any money in the account. It was I had just moved back from South Dakota to Illinois. So when I ran that transaction, it was a red flag from being out of state. So immediately I'm like, oh my God, this woman is going to judge me. Like she's not going to want to have anything to do with me. And she's like, no, it's fine. Whatever. I'll take care of it. And from that point forward, that just spoke volumes to me, because I'll be honest with you. If the shoe were on the other foot, I'd be like, oh, I don't know. This is kind of sketchy. Like, so that was number two, is like, she never judged. She never judged my family. Coming from a small farm town in a whole nother state to a whole city culture full of Black people. Like there's so many things she could have judged me for, and she did not. So, and she's supportive. She's so supportive, not just with me, with my family. If I'm like, hey, I'm going to go see my niece do gymnastics, she's right there with me cheering on. So it's just, she's supportive, not just from a business side of things, but from a personal perspective. And I'll be honest, from a business side of things, she's very good at what she does. I would never want to do what she does. Let's be very clear. And I respect what she does, from her being the COO of the company, chief operational officer, and she's in charge of the team and all the operations within the business. She's good at it. I applaud her for that. Thank you. So, yeah, she's got I mean, that's really hard to find. I'll be honest with you. She pretty much checks up all the boxes, but we all have our qualms. But at the end of the day, she's it for me.
Good. And I think it's important. Like, I've been around you guys a little bit time now. Just how like you guys gel. Like, you know, she's more on the side of like the numbers, and you're more on side of the business and vision and making the whole picture kind of form itself.
Yeah.
So I love how you guys kind of like work together, and you guys gel so good together, and you guys created, you know, this momentum that you guys are riding on right now. So,
I appreciate that.
yeah, no,
but we weren't always like that either.
Yeah,
so when Brittany's shaking her head in the background, like that first year, we were always butting heads, but we just needed to figure it out. Like, now we're in each other's, you know, we're stay in our lanes. Like, we're not in each other's lanes. So
it takes time.
Yes, it took time. So, all right, moving on. So my turn, right?
Yep.
So we are on, number 7. What would be your advice to someone in a similar situation as yourself who pursued sports in high school, college, and excelled, but like you mentioned, after college, you're just kind of trying to find your purpose again. So what would be your advice? You somewhat answered it, but if you want to elaborate a little bit more, because I believe that there's going to be people that also follow you that are going to want to know, like, what would Major do? So what would you do? Or what are you going to do?
Yeah, I just don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to create relationships with people that are long lasting. The biggest thing is, like, when I had to go back home from college, it broke me, because it was like I told myself I would never be back in this town. And it's like, okay, now you can't sit in this kind of sorrow. You got to kind of like just build yourself back up, bring that momentum back to you. And through this journey so far, I've been able to make connections that allowed me to put my name back out there, create some momentum. I've been able to start a flag football program for the youth. I've been able to kind of teach here and there in school districts. I've been able to be in the fitness world and just make new connections. So I'll just say, like, pick people's mind, learn as much as you can. And especially, like, for me, like, it was always sports. And now it's like, okay, now I want to focus on business.
Yeah.
Like, I want to create my own business. I want to create my own platform for myself to give back to the youth, to do what we're doing right now, just give life advice and give notes and tricks. Because I feel like there's so many times where I didn't feel like I had the resources to kind of ask questions or to get ahead of the game, I would say. So I'll just say, read as much as you can and get a mentor, like get somebody you trust and you feel like you can ask questions, even the hard questions, because those are the ones that need to be answered.
For sure.
How do I accomplish this? How do I get to this certain amount of money? Or how do I get my body to look like this? Like, just ask those questions to somebody, and the worst they could say is no. You know, like, so you got to be comfortable with hearing rejection, and then you got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Put yourself in uncomfortable situations that you're not used to, and then, like, once you start doing that, once you start being more comfortable in those type of situations, doors are open for you.
For sure.
You know, doors are open for you of opportunity and of money and of love and health. So it's just putting yourself out there to be valuable in the world, I would say.
That.
So that's kind of like what I'm doing right now, is just trying to be valuable, peace in the world, and then just create something that I can build momentum on.
Yeah, I really like that. And I think that people that have professions, again, I like to relate to people who are listening in. If you're a teacher, we have a lot of teachers, but a nurse, we have a lot of nurses. So even though it's not from a business perspective, I think they're still finding ways to provide value to other people, and they have found their purpose. So shout out to all those people.
Yeah, shout out to you guys.
Awesome. Is it your
turn? Yeah.
Okay.
So you're dealing with majority women in your business. What made you kind of put yourself in a position to make these, or allow these women to confide in you so that they trust you when coming to your gym, when trying to find results? They may be going through their everyday life and different situations. So how did you kind of allow yourself to step into a role where these women can kind of trust you and your brand?
Sure. I think that's a very good question. And this is probably going to go against everything that people would think when it comes to that. It's not about building value. It's about building relationships. And what I mean by that is, people don't care how much you know about fitness, how much you know about exercise, any of that. It's all about caring about the person you're trying to serve. And I firmly believe once they know you care about them, then they care about what you have to say. So for us, and I think everybody knows that's watching, when people step foot in the door, everybody is known by first name. Everybody, we probably know what they do for a profession. We ask questions, how was your weekend? What are you doing this weekend? So it's not just, we're not a revolving door, number one. And I think relationships is so important. So to answer your question, when we first started, it was just building relationships with our people. And through that, that's where we started to build value. So when we first started our 12 weeks, these were, it was over 20, 30 plus women, strangers. They didn't know us. We didn't know them. But over the course of the 12 weeks, by the end of it, like, we knew everything about that person. And I think that's what allowed us to help them better. I'll never forget, and I'll keep names out of it, but it was a consult with a woman, and we sat down with her. And the first question we asked is, why are you here? And she started crying. And we asked, well, may I ask, why are you crying? And she's like, I'm here because I went to go tuck my son into bed and lay down with him. And he made fun of me and said, Mommy, you can't fit in my bed. I'm too big. And that alone, I think, spoke volumes for us. And we were only able to help serve her on a higher level because she was able to be vulnerable. And that's really hard. Most people, don't like being vulnerable, number one, because either they don't trust you or whatever. But I just ask that. I mean, you don't have to personally always share that type of information, but I think the more info we know about you, the better we can help you. There's been people that hasn't shared that they have different types of diseases or if diabetes, but if we just knew, we would know how to help you on a higher level. So please, it's hard to be vulnerable at times, but I think that's the only way we can serve you on a higher level.
For sure.
So yes. Great. Awesome. Okay. We're almost done. I hope we're not boring you to death and you're still sticking around, but we're on number 8. If you had a genie in a bottle and had 2 wishes to make personally and professionally, what would it be?
2 wishes professionally and what?
Professionally and personally.
Personally.
1 each.
Personally, I would wish for great health. I feel like health is wealth. Health provides you in numerous ways of continuous to keep going every day. Just being the healthiest version of you is the best version of you. You create so much momentum, and I keep talking about momentum, but it's a real thing in life when you create some momentum in life and just ride the wave and you just keep yourself consistency. I know, like, when you go to the gym, you're always working hard. You're always trying to elevate yourself, adding more weight, doing more reps, or if you have some spare time, doing another exercise. So it's just important, like, just to always keep your health going, always to keep, yourself satisfied, and like, that creates love for yourself. That shows that you love yourself and that you love, who you are and your creation. So I would say health is 1.
Okay.
And then my second personal would be allow my finances to help others. And what I mean by that is I want to create something special that allows people to feel listened or heard or cared for. One of my biggest goals is to create something that allows, the young adults to be surrounded by people as yourself, like-minded people who have, big visions of business and life and can kind of confine in these people and ask them questions and get some resources and create a mentor. Find a mentor that will lead them to where they're trying to succeed. So I say allow my finances to do that because I want to be able to put these kids in rooms and situations that they can become young leaders and young inspirations to other kids who are trying to figure out the same thing, so that's another goal. Personal, career-wise, just consistency. That's my biggest thing. Consistency in business, just because you gotta keep the vision, keep growing in what the vision is. You might have this big dream, then the dream comes true, but now what? You got to keep building on what you already built. I know when you started your gym, Midwest Performance, right? So you started Midwest Performance, moved to LadyStrong Fitness. You had a vision, but now you created another vision for it. Now you're creating more visions for LadyStrong and expanding and scaling. So you got to keep visualizing what you want and keep putting it out there in the universe and make it happen. And then another career goal. Let me think here. Another career goal.
While you're thinking on that, I'm gonna let him think on that because I want to say something. For you guys that don't know, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Cool.
This man is only 25 years old and he speaks as though he's 35. So it says a lot about who he is as a person and his character, because I'll be honest with you, there isn't too many 25-year-olds outside of my employees that I will typically just be in my inner circle with. So I think that says a lot about you as a person.
I appreciate that.
So,
I appreciate
all right,
that.
go ahead, keep going.
All right, second career goal would probably just be scaling. I see how you guys are kind of scaling your business right now and how it's going to, in the long run, create an opportunity for you guys to create a foundation that you guys can look back on and say, you know, we created this. We did this for not just us, but our families, you know? So that's one thing that I want to do is I want to scale, not just like wherever I start my business, but I want to do it worldwide. I want to do it nationwide. I want people to feel this from city to city, to state to state, to country to country. I want us all to just combine and just have everybody invested in what I'm trying to bring out and people and environments. So I would just say growth and scale would be like a big
That's awesome.
for my
I love
career.
that. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. So are we on 8? You're on 8.
Yeah, I think I'm on 8.
Yeah, go ahead.
When trying to find a mentor, it's hard to kind of trust people in this world, especially today, because you never know who has your best interests in sight. What or how did you go about finding a mentor that kind of led you to the position you're in today?
Yeah. By the way, I cannot count on my hands and toes or fingers and toes. We've been through a lot of mentorships. And each mentorship served a different purpose in the stage and where we were in our personal life and from a business perspective. And through each person, it started out as research, like finding the right person for us and where we are in the stage of life. That's number one. But through the first, there came referrals, which is really nice. I think back to the first one that we were with for several years. And I don't want to say we outgrew that mentor, but we were just in a different stage in our life and business, meaning, you know, we fulfilled that particular area, but there was more that that person could not do for us, if that makes sense. So it's just figuring out, like, what is it that you're trying to excel, if there's a skill, or I don't know, even like, for instance, from a personal perspective, like people may not have anyone to talk to. So people always like, oh, you should try counseling. And people kind of frowned upon counseling, but after they've tried it, it's like, that wasn't that bad, right? So it's just whatever you're seeking for, if it's from a personal perspective or business, is just finding out, what am I trying to fulfill in my life and the stage and where I'm at right now.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that answers
Right,
it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, we're almost done.
Cool.
Number 9, despite being the opposite sex, being on a female dominant community on this platform, what is the biggest advice you have for the women listening in today?
Love yourself.
I love that.
Love yourself first, because if you don't love yourself, nobody will. You know, I've had the pleasure to be raised around 2 sisters, a mother, and they taught me a lot about women, respecting women, how women kind of work in the nature of a woman. So the biggest thing is just have some confidence to you. You know, go in every day knowing you are a woman of power, you are a woman of beauty, and you have so many skill sets that put you on a pedestal of success. So to women just watching, like, you are loved and you are cared for and you are heard. You know, I think it's a lot of times like a woman's voice sometimes gets shunned or put to the side. But it is a lot of people that are listening to you guys. It's a lot of people that care for women and care for what you have to say. So just keep speaking your truth, keep being who you are, and at the end of the day, like, keep showing your
I love that. I'm sure people are like, yes, or they're probably like, is he single? No, he's not.
No, I'm not.
Right, that speaks volumes, because we always tell women to give yourself grace, because we're so hard on ourselves. We're always beating ourselves up. You know, there is such thing when you look in a mirror and you have like body dysmorphia and you don't like what you see and things like that. So to hear you say that, it's like, it wasn't a right or wrong answer, but it's like, that was just perfect. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. All right, we're on our last and final one, or are you on 9?
I'm on 9.
Okay.
I'm on 9.
All right.
Yeah. What created Marciea Allen?
Oh,
What made you into who you are today? What type of trials and tribulations?
Yeah, this goes back to family. I mean, obviously, like when I think first thing, inception, like God brought me into this earth. I could not control who my mother and who my father were. I think it just formed me into the person who I am today. By the way, for those of you that don't know, we are from the same town.
Yeah.
So it's like the town is population like 20,000, a little over 20,000, which is a very small community. And it's everybody knows your business. Let's be honest. It's one of those things like everybody knows your business. So it's like I'm a very private person. Growing up, I kept my head to the ground. I'm sure you did too. It was always sports for me, which kept me out of trouble. Family is everything. I think back to shout out to my grandmother was a matriarch because my mother was somewhat of a single mother. So when she was, working, grandmother would pick us up from school, cook us dinner, whatever. So RIP to her. But that really shaped me. Just the people around me. I think how do they say it? I wasn't a victim of my circumstances, even though my father wasn't always there like yours was. I could have taken a different path, but I think I used that as motivation. That definitely shaped me because I knew what I did not want my lifestyle to be like versus the things that I was surrounded by at times. And it wasn't, if it was by choice or whatever. So a lot of it just had to do was who was around me and how I was raised. And yeah, it definitely, it's what shaped me. I think it made me a stronger individual. So yeah, I mean, I could go down a rabbit hole with that, but that's my Cliff Notes version.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. And then we're on our last one.
Last question.
Yay. Okay. Last and final question. I'll be honest. I did not write it down. So I think let's make it the same question. I think for me, I'm just you kind of answered it. If it's okay, we'll have your number 9 be number 10. Is that okay?
That's cool.
Any advice to anyone that's listening in today is that number 1, I'm super appreciative if you stuck around this long because we know everyone's attention span nowadays is very minimal.
Yeah.
Number 2, I hope the biggest value that you got from this is going back to what Lige said. Shout out to him because I told you, Major, I'm a very personal individual that is very not susceptible to sharing vulnerability. So I hope that you guys were able to learn more about me as a person. And I promise you, this was not rehearsed. I did not know what type of questions you were going to ask. No. So this was completely authentic. I wasn't saying things that I think most people would want to hear. Yeah. And I think for people that do know me will know that this is the true Marciea. But for me, I'm going to drop the mic here.
If you don't mind, I do have one more question.
You do? I gotta ask. Okay, fine.
This is for me and anybody watching who's young and just like inspiring to do business. What advice as a 25-year-old man from a woman's perspective would you give me to just keep on going and just keep just learning through my journey, I guess?
If I'm being honest, you're doing all the right things right now. You are. I'm actually going to share some things just based on my observation and him being here with us. Your faith is important. I see that you have your devotions you do daily, which is like getting in the mental state of mind. That's number 1, and putting God first, or like you said, whomever you may believe in. So seeing things that other people don't see, you asking all the right questions, you being surrounded in networking. We took Major to a networking event. This is about 2 weeks ago. And I'll be honest with you, you would have thought that this was this man's business because he was going around networking with people, which I was not anticipating at all, but I'm glad that you did and meeting new people. So it's like you are doing the right things. That's probably not what you wanted to hear, but if there was anything different, I would tell you, but you are doing all the right things. I mean, you're learning, you're growing, if it's listening to podcasts, and just, I'm super proud of you. I think that I'm so glad that I actually reached out to you several months back. And I think this has been the best thing for us both. So yeah, that's all I have.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, but God bless you all. Thank you, ladies, for tuning in of another episode of Women Behind the Weights. We'll catch you on the next episode. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Women Behind the Weights podcast. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights from today's episode. If you enjoyed the conversation, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your support helps us reach more women like you. Don't forget to connect with us on social media for behind-the-scenes content and to join our growing community. Remember, we're all in this together, and every step you take brings you closer to your goals. Until next time, keep lifting those weights and your voices. You've got this.